everyone, and welcome back to the vlog. I'm traveling to Seville for my friend Nat's bachelorette trip and spending some time in Madrid as well. I started on a red-eye flight from New York to Madrid. Hey guys, this is not super glamorous, but I got to Madrid and I just got changed in the bathroom. I have a few hours to kill before I catch a train to Seville, so I'm gonna head into the city and go to a cafe. I caught a taxi from the airport and took it straight to my first cafe of the day. Feliz Coffee is one of my favorite cafes in Madrid, so I knew I had to make it my first stop. The interior is a bit dim, but it feels so homey. And my favorite part is their coffee. I ordered a cappuccino that was just perfect. The cinnamon roll was sweet and crispy and made for the best post-flight snack. So I'm just walking around right now. I have a bit of time to kill before I have to catch my train. So I'm gonna go to another cafe and kind of just walk around, even though it is a little bit difficult with my luggage. Luckily, the city is super walkable. I didn't make it very far because I ended up at Feliz Coffee's other location, which is a smaller shop that has no indoor seating. I really just wanted to sit and enjoy the weather, so I ordered an Americano and did just that. I became friends with this adorable dog named Chippy and had a nice chat with her owner that made me so glad I went here. Afterwards, I walked around the Barrio de las Letras, which is also known as the Literary Quarter. This neighborhood was once home to some of Spain's most celebrated writers, including Miguel de Cervantes, Lope de Vega, and Quevedo during the Spanish Golden Age. I ended up at my third cafe of the day, Etoile Cafe. I loved the quirky yet minimal decor here, especially the back wall with these plants and books. I was still a little bit hungry, so I got myself some toast with butter and jam. And just as a fun fact about this place, the bathroom is full of photos of the owner's dog pooping. Just a touch I thought was so funny. By now, it was time for me to leave Madrid. My train to Seville was around 1 p.m. and luckily the Puerta de Atocha was in a walkable distance. The train ride itself was around 2.5 hours long and I found it quite peaceful. I arrived in Seville around 3:30 p.m. Hey guys, I've made it to Seville. Nat and all of the others are heading to the Airbnb now, so I'm gonna go meet them there. The Airbnb isn't really close enough for me to walk, so I think I'm just gonna take a cab there. And I'll try my best to do as much filming as I can, but this will be a very much more group-based trip, so this probably will be a lot more of a voiceover heavy vlog. I took a taxi from the station to my Airbnb. I was the second to arrive, so I got a nice view of the place while it was empty. This is the first floor, which has one bedroom with a lofted bed. The second floor also has one bedroom, but the living room was converted to hold a second bed for two. I ended up staying in the bedroom here with my friend Audrey. The top floor is the master bedroom and has its own bathroom and balcony space.
Starting the Bachelorette! Yeah, Maddie's our vlogger.
By 4:30 p.m., everyone had arrived, and first things first, we went to buy some groceries. We did a little snacking and some introductions back at the Airbnb before heading out to dinner. We headed out to dinner where we had an 8:30 p.m. reservation. Little did we know what was supposed to be a 15-minute walk turned into nearly an hour due to the road blockages from the Holy Week processions. Semana Santa, or Holy Week, is one of the biggest religious celebrations in Spain. Held during the week leading up to Easter Sunday, it features grand processions of elaborately decorated floats depicting scenes from the Passion of Christ, carried through the city's historic streets by members of religious brotherhoods known as cofradías. Each procession includes costaleros, people who carry the heavy floats, nazarenos, penitents in pointed hoods and robes, and marching bands playing somber, emotional music. At long last, we made it to El Rinconcillo, where they kindly still honored our reservation. This historic tapas bar was established in 1670 and holds the distinction of being the oldest bar in Seville. Its menu is a celebration of traditional Andalusian Mozarabic cuisine, and some of its signature dishes include spinach with chickpeas, Iberian pork cheeks, and fried cod sticks. By the time we finished dinner, a huge crowd had gathered outside the restaurant for a procession. We had one of the best seats in the house from the restaurant's balcony. The night wasn't over yet. Our walk home was just as long as our walk to the restaurant due to countless processions, as they typically occur through the entire night on Good Friday. We grabbed some Basque cheesecake at this shop to bring back to our Airbnb, and after a long walk back, we ended our night with it.
I'm gonna try the cheesecake. Should we throw them all?
Not a lot, actually. It looked like. Oh, creamy.
Mmm.
Wow.
This is really good.
It's so good. Close it and see if it's closed properly. If it is, then it's locked.
Good morning, everyone. I actually got some really good sleep last night. Everybody slept after 2 a.m. last night, but I passed out pretty immediately and I woke up around like 10:30. It's 11:30 now and I'm pretty much all ready to go. Nat and most of the others went out to go grab some coffee and bring it back, so I am definitely looking forward to having some caffeine in me to keep getting over this jet lag. And otherwise, our plans today are pretty lax. We are going to go to one of the cathedrals in the afternoon and then we have some dinner plans, but otherwise I think this bachelorette trip is going to be at a bit more of a relaxed pace, which is really perfect considering there's so many of us and it's nice to just be able to just sit around a table and talk sometimes, you know. I knew a lot of the people that were on this trip before, but the people I didn't know are also just so nice. Everybody is so easy to get along with, and I just think that this group of people is the perfect group to be in Seville with. Okay, we're heading out to the cathedral! The Catedral de Sevilla is one of the most magnificent and historically significant landmarks in Spain. Built on the site of a former mosque, it is the largest Gothic cathedral in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We made the ascent to the top of the cathedral where we could see over all of Seville. We explored more of the cathedral and admired its stunning Gothic architecture. The cathedral's main altar is one of the largest and most ornate altarpieces in the Christian world, covered in gold leaf. For lunch, we ended up at El Comedito, a tapas bar serving a fusion of traditional and contemporary Andalusian cuisine, who thankfully had a table fit for all 10 of us. We ordered a ton of different tapas, and once again, I got to try some delicious ham and cheese croquettes. On the way to our next destination, we stopped for some gelato. And then some coffee. Our next stop was the Catedral de Sevilla, an iconic wooden structure in Seville's Plaza de la Encarnacion. It has 2 panoramic terraces, but the upper level on top of the structure needed tickets, so we didn't go there. We wanted to enjoy the beautiful weather some more and had some afternoon drinks at this bar in one of the plazas. It was so nice just chatting with everybody and sitting in the sun.
Now we're gonna go try to walk into a flamenco place.
The processions for the evening were beginning, and we walked through lots of crowds to get to the spot we wanted to try. This is La Carboneria. an iconic flamenco bar in Seville's Santa Cruz neighborhood, cherished for its authentic free flamenco performances in a rustic former coal warehouse setting. There's no cover charge, but you are expected to buy drinks. Shows last about 30 minutes and repeat several times nightly, typically beginning around 9 p.m. Photos and videos were not allowed during the performance, but the show was amazing and felt so intimate and intense. Okay, finally time for dinner. We had a reservation at El Pinton, a trendy restaurant in the center of Seville that serves Spanish Mediterranean tapas. Once again, we ordered a wide variety of dishes and even got Natalie some candles to blow out on the burrata. Everything I ate was so delicious, and this was definitely one of my favorite dinners in Seville. And the night was still not over yet, because next we headed to Bar Garlochi, a Baroque-style bar decorated with Catholic imagery. Of course, we had to order the house cocktail Sangre de Cristo, aka the Blood of Christ, which includes a blend of grenadine, sparkling wine, and whiskey. This bar was such a fun experience and felt very on brand to visit during Holy Week. And here's another procession we ran into on the way back to the Airbnb.
Hey guys, so we're getting a super late start to the day today. It's like 1:30 p.m. and we have a sherry tasting at 3 p.m. We all woke up pretty late, but some of them already went out to go get breakfast and walk around, so the rest of us are just going to go try to find some food now.
We decided to first stop at this small shop selling pastéis de nata, Portuguese egg custard tarts with a crispy, flaky puff pastry crust and a rich, creamy custard filling. These were incredible.
Oh, really good.
And since it was already pretty late in the day, we chose to grab some lunch at the seafood restaurant Vanessa had heard of. Its name is El Pesquero, and it's located inside of the Mercado del Arenal, a fresh food market. As maybe you know by now, I don't eat seafood, but I am proud to say I did try some here.
At first it was a little too fishy, and then it got a little better.
As much as I don't like seafood, this was absolutely the best place to try these types for the first time.
It's fine, tastes like a soup.
We made it.
We were a little late to the sherry tasting because of our lunch, but the rest of the group kindly waited for us. In this tasting, our educator taught us about the history of sherry, a fortified wine from Andalusia, Spain, specifically produced in the Sherry Triangle. It's made primarily from Palomino grapes, and what makes it unique is its aging process, either under a layer of yeast called flor or through oxidative aging. We got to try 5 different types of sherry, and each tasted so unique.
It smells like nuts. Found the 4. I made sure.
I love that.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah. It's very minty.
Natalie's husband made an appearance during the tasting too. After the tasting, they led us onto the balcony to finish the rest of our sherry. And then we were off again. We stopped to get this free photo taken of us that was so cute.
Stop, this is so cute.
And then made our way to our next destination, a flamenco show at Tablao Flamenco. Not surprisingly, we were late because of a huge procession right in front of the venue, which is located underneath the Las Setas. But we did make it and were awed by some incredible flamenco. Tablao presents daily shows including a dynamic cast of around 8 artists, including talented singers, guitarists, and dancers. I loved the variety of different performances both by men and women. For dinner, we had a reservation at Pero Viejo, a trendy multi-level tapas bar. Their menu includes creative, globally inspired tapas, a contrast from most of the traditional tapas we'd been experiencing so far. Some of the unique tapas we ordered include the chicken yakitori, duck rice, and black rice with saffron alioli and prawns. For dessert, we had the Basque-style brioche bread with tiramisu and the cheesecake. Both were out of this world.
Good morning, everyone. I woke up a little bit early today and got out a bit early. The streets are so empty right now. It's about 8:30 a.m. Since I've been waking up so late in Seville, I just wanted to experience one earlier morning, and it's actually just so peaceful out here. I took some photos of my outfit from yesterday, and now I'm just walking around the neighborhood. Everything is closed. I'm gonna head back to the Airbnb soon to meet up with everybody because we also all are going to the Royal Alcazar at 10 a.m. I was thinking about picking up some coffee, but nothing's open yet.
We walked to the Royal Alcazar ahead of our 10 a.m. ticketed time. The Royal Alcazar is one of the oldest royal palaces still in use in Europe, as it's still an official residence for the Spanish royal family when they visit Seville. It was originally built in the 10th century and is known for its exquisite mudéjar architecture, lush gardens, and detailed tile work, reflecting a blend of Islamic, Gothic, Renaissance, and Baroque influences. And fun fact, the Royal Alcazar was featured as Dorne in Game of Thrones. In the garden, we met lots of wildlife, including peacocks
Oh, he's protecting.
and this family of ducks.
Oh my god.
For breakfast, we went to Bodega Santa Cruz, an old-school tapas bar with quick service. We all ordered some toast and stood outside to eat. We could hear and see the bells of the Catedral de Sevilla from where we stood. We then checked out some of the cute shops nearby, including the ceramic shop called Populart. This family-run shop sells loose tiles, vintage pottery, azulejos, and more from the 16th to 20th centuries. After browsing, we walked to the Plaza de Espana. Built in 1928 for the Ibero-American Exposition of 1929, the semicircular plaza showcases a stunning combination of Renaissance Revival and Moorish Revival architecture. The massive structure is flanked by ornate towers at each end and a canal and arch bridges that earned it the nickname the Venice of Seville. Our big group split into two small ones, and myself and a few others headed to a spot that would satisfy our craving for churros. A Google search led us to Calenteria, and we were very happy with our find. The churros were so crispy and perfectly complemented by the chocolate. We stopped for some caffeine at Pura Vida Cafe, and then couldn't resist getting some froyo at Cala. There were so many different toppings to choose from. I think this is the best froyo I've ever had. For dinner, we went back to El Pesquero because most of the group hadn't gone with us last time. This time, I just stuck with my meat instead of seafood, but this dinner was just so memorable because of the incredible company. We all got to reflect on how amazing this batch trip was and share our favorite memories. At the end, the staff gave us complimentary shots of limoncello, and we were the last party to leave the restaurant. It was really the perfect end to the batch trip. In the morning, we said our goodbyes and my friend Audrey and I headed to the station to catch the train to Madrid. We were almost late due to long lines at the station security, but we made it. It was another peaceful 2.5-hour long train ride back to Madrid. When we got to the city, we took a cab to our hotel to drop off our things.
So we made it to Madrid and we're just leaving our luggage at the hotel in the lockers they have, and then we're gonna go head out to get some lunch.
For lunch, I decided to take Audrey to one of my favorite restaurants, probably ever, Restaurante Air, formerly known as Hermosilla. This modern Mediterranean-inspired eatery is located in Madrid's Barrio de Salamanca and offers fresh, seasonal, artisan-driven dishes with Latin and Italian flair. For my main dish, I had to get my favorite spinach and ricotta ravioli, which I believe really rivals the spinach and mascarpone tortelli at my favorite restaurant, Nisi.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah.
We still had a little time to kill before check-in time, so I grabbed a coffee at Ola Coffee nearby. Okay, we picked up our bags and we're gonna check into the room. Yeah. Oh my god! Wait, that's so nice. Here's a little tour of the hotel room. I was working with Sonder, so I hadn't known what kind of room they were gonna give me. Let's just say I was extremely pleasantly surprised. Audrey wasn't originally coming with me, so it worked out so well that there are 2 beds, one being a sofa bed, and 2 baths. It was so spacious and really made for the perfect space for 2. They even left me some harbo.
So we're all settled into our new room, and it actually worked out so perfectly because there are 2 bathrooms and there's also a sofa bed so that Audrey can stay comfortably here. She's only gonna stay for 1 night, but it's nice that at least we get to spend some more time together. Audrey's actually out right now with a friend, but I decided to stay back and just chill for a little bit. It's nice to finally kind of just like sit in silence and just kind of catch up on things. I think we're just gonna meet up for dinner later, though of course we don't really have any set plans, so we'll see what happens. But for now, I'm really just enjoying this beautiful room. Okay, update, I'm gonna meet up with Audrey and her friend for hot pot. I think they invited some other people as well, so it should be a really fun night. It's gonna be so good to have Asian food again. I miss it so much.
I walked to the hot pot spot Audrey's friend chose and got to meet 4 awesome new people over the most delicious hot pot. I mean, seriously, I think this might have been my favorite hot pot I've ever had. The broths were so flavorful and the variety of ingredients was fresh and had exactly what everyone wanted. The conversation flowed and it was such a fun dinner.
Good morning. It is my final day in Spain. Audrey left around 6 a.m. this morning, so today I will be having a solo day. I honestly really didn't have too many plans in Madrid, so I'm pretty much just gonna go walk around and go to cafes that I want to go to, but I'm gonna just kind of figure things out as I go. It's around 8:30 right now, so let's head to our first cafe.
The first cafe I visited was Sambu's Coffee. I had found this cafe online and thought it was too cute not to see first. It has a relaxed Mediterranean style vibe, and you can bring or play your favorite records on their turntable. How cute is that? The next cafe was Faraday. Faraday is a multi-layered concept space combining a vinyl record shop, curated object boutique, and specialty cafe designed to spark curiosity, just like the scientist Michael Faraday for whom it's named. The space is so cozy, and I absolutely could have stayed here all day. Around the corner is this cute concept shop called Despacio. They had so many beautifully curated items, including Hey homeware. Later on my walk, I ran into another cute concept shop called El Moderno. I couldn't resist buying a few things. My last cafe of the day was Cafe Angelica. This quaint spot was originally opened in 1948 as Madrid's first herbalist and spice store, but has now been transformed into a cafe. I ordered a cappuccino and a carrot cake and did some people watching by the window. Before going back to the hotel, I stopped by Libros para un Mundo Mejor, which was unfortunately closed, but the most adorable cat ever was sitting in the window. So cute.
Hey guys, so it is now almost 8 p.m. and I have chosen a spot for dinner. I am actually really craving Thai food, and there happens to be a Thai place that's relatively close to here, so that is where I'm going. And then the one last thing I really want to do before I leave Madrid is get my favorite churros at San Gin's. Hopefully I pronounced that right. So I'm planning on going there after dinner. Let's head out.
I got to Mongkut and got exactly what I was craving, some good Thai food. I ordered the pad krapao and it was just perfect. It was actually just such a pleasant experience eating alone. Then I walked to San Ginés for my favorite churros. However, now that I've experienced more churros in life, I think these are probably on the same level as the ones I had in Seville. This was such a satisfying last night of my Spain trip. The next morning, I woke up late, packed my suitcase, said goodbye to my Sonder, and headed to the airport. This trip was so memorable, especially because of all the amazing people who were a part of it. Thanks for watching my journey, and see you in the next one.